This type of technical analysis will be applicable, as we always say, to anything that you're trading. And even though if you're somebody who's a long-term investor, watching these daily charts and watching these weekly charts for not just liquidity levels, but levels that you could potentially average down at. If I'm looking to invest in Nvidia long-term, I know that a really solid level is to be buying at 378 and 390. This is where big money's buying, so this is where I'm gonna buy. If it breaks 370, I'm gonna wait and buy at 280, and I'm gonna wait and buy at 270. Think like an institution, right? This way you don't have to be saying to yourself, what should I do? What should I buy? How should I do it? So in this instance, all we're looking for is to buy when big money's looking to buy. And this, of course, really is only going to work on a company that you believe in for the long term. We're talking more long-term investor, or if you're trading with the trends. So I ended up taking a put position last week. And the reason for it was we had a lot of selling pressure here on the daily chart. Big money was coming through and selling. A lot of people ask me about this indicator. This is going to be called the Smart Money Concepts by Lux Algo. There's a video on our YouTube channel from last week that's titled, I think it's just Tesla Stock SMC. If you want the full tutorial, I highly recommend you go and watch that. And so what we were looking for was this break here of this change of character, or this big support. So this area of interest was a really, really strong level of support. 1, 2, 3, and now potentially 4 more times. And to be quite honest, these are some of the easiest trades that you can usually pull off, because when you find a really good area of interest like this, you can wait for these pullbacks down to this area of interest, or down to this support level of like 408 to 412, and you can look to just go long right at that level, set a very, very tight stop loss on a lower low, and then easily ride it back up to the golden zone, or even the 0.5 Fibonacci, which gives you a 5-to-1 RVR, meaning that you can literally lose 5 times, and as long as you make money on that 6th, you're gonna be more than fine, let alone if you would have ridden it back up until we saw some sell signals. Same situation happening down here when we saw this pull back down to this support. We saw this very strong move back down here after earnings, bouncing, but you could have done the same thing. So could have went long, set a stop loss down here on a lower low, take profit right back up here at 472, which once again is a 7.5 RVR. So right there, you would have made 15% and then about another 12 or 13% within just a couple of months. And we were watching 2 levels to potentially go short. The first was on this push that we ran back up to 472. We know that this golden zone, golden pocket, golden goose, whatever you guys decide to call it, I've just been calling it a golden zone my entire career. This level is a solid level of rejection. I usually am watching the 0.618 and the 0.786, but looking here, what else started to set up within that golden zone? A big money bearish block. So you can see how well we respected it. We actually came up, even if we were to actually go over here, and you guys can watch in real time. I'll let this candle play out. Look and see how well we respect this golden zone level. We push up, coming up into this level. I'm gonna have to speed this up. It's actually as slow as a snail. But as we come up into this level, we're sitting at about 468.76. We doji here. So we see selling pressure come through. This is a bad sign. Big engulfing candle, barely able to hold here. And it's at this point now, well, back here I should have said, back here is where we would have went to go short, setting our stop loss at a higher high, and the take profit back down at about $415, which would have been, once again, not as good, but about a 4-to-1 risk versus reward, which we would have ended up hitting. Now, on the second position, which we took last week, I actually called this out on Twitter. So if you guys are not following me there, you're missing out on some good trades, I promise you. So here, we were watching for this potential drop because we saw this massive sell-off, big move up, and this drop through, and you can see we have change of character. So now the 409 is broken. There's a pretty significant and easy move back down to $380 to catch that support level. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very surprised that this got bought up so quickly today. I thought that we were gonna bottom at 390, and I was gonna potentially look to see if we bounced off of there, but we were able to hold. At this moment, I don't plan to go long on Nvidia. I think the best move is seeing if we're ending up holding here and then watching for a potential rejection at $420. And from there, I'd be looking to ride down to 380, and from 380 back down to 290. Now, I'm not saying for sure that this is what's going to happen, but I'm just saying that if I were to look at this and say, What's the risk versus reward? What's the potential upside? I don't think we're going to get over 460 for the rest of the year. So it's either hopefully we get that put position or that downward move, or we're just not going to take a trade at all. Now moving to the S&P 500, which a lot of people had asked about as well. Moving to perfection, right? As we were expecting yesterday, talked about this bounce off of point of control at $412, which is the highest amount of volume within the past year, a very strong level. And as always, we're watching for this move back up to our golden zone of about 426 to 430. If the S&P 500 bounces back up into this level, I will be looking to open a very, very strong and very aggressive put position back down. In a perfect scenario, we would sit back and hopefully see this push all the way up to 431.50 or 431, setting a stop loss up here at about 435 to 436, and a take profit down at 411 would give us a 4.6 RVR, which would be absolutely crazy. That's one of those trades that if this plays out, and I would have very high conviction in this, unless like a ton of buying came through and it looked like we were going to break through the resistance, I'd feel very confident in taking a position, because even if it doesn't play out to the way that we want and we end up losing money, it was a beautiful setup with well calculated risk, and it was more than worth taking the position. I hope this helped, guys. We'll go through the Fed tomorrow. We'll see how the decision is. We will go through and see how the market also reacts. If you guys want access to all my trades, go check them out. The link is in the description. There's over 12,000 members in our Discord community, and over there, once you're a premium member, you'll get access to all of our swing trades as well as all of our day trades. Absolutely be killing it today and yesterday, up a lot. Last week kind of sucked, but up so far this week about 17,500, and we'll see how the rest of the week pans out, guys. Thanks for all the support. I hope you have a great Halloween, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.